Welcome to the Quiet Gym, where the game is broken down one possession, one adjustment, one idea at a time. A place where basketball is studied, not shouted about. Before we get started, today's episode is brought to you by Rock Bottom Reset, helping people rebuild discipline, confidence, and purpose one day at a time. Visit rockbottomreset.com to learn more. And now, here's your host, Wyatt Prater.
Welcome back to the gym. I'm Wyatt, here joined by Resto again. We're seeing more and more of Resto every time. We're loving it. I want to get right into it today, but unfortunately, we can't because we had some news break up about 2.5 hours ago. Some of the saddest news that we've had, if not the saddest news that we've had this offseason.
For sure.
So if you guys don't know, if you're living under a rock, Russell Westbrook has declared that he's retired from the league. What's this make you feel?
It's kind of sad, I guess. I kind of grew up knowing him as like the triple double king, and I guess to see him step away from basketball, something I didn't expect this year. I guess I thought he was gonna try his best to play a year or two more, but props to him for calling it by himself because like an hour ago, news broke he had offers from the Wizards and the Kings, which the Wizards would be very interesting. But I think props to him for ending on his own terms. I mean, he's had a great career and he deserves it. I mean, like you can see in our post on our Instagram, all his accolades. So if you don't follow that, go follow it. But I think it was very sad. So
I like the self promo. Do you have any memories that you want to share about Westbrook's career? I know we're acting like he's dead. He's not dead. I'm curious if you have like any like if you watched any games that like I remember watching Russ because I have a couple. I mean, obviously we're younger. I'm 19. What are you? You're 17.
Yeah.
So I turned 20 in a couple days actually.
You do.
Yeah, that's right. But so when he was drafted in 2008, I was 2 years old. Were you even born? so
Yeah.
I mean, we don't remember the beginning of his career, obviously. And I saw a stat that only 2 players are left from that draft class that actually have currently on a roster. So it's DeAndre Jordan and Brook Lopez. But Nick Batum's still a free agent. He might retire. He might not. And there's one more. Oh, Kevin Love. Kevin Love hasn't retired yet, has he?
No, he's not. I heard he might go to Philadelphia, but I think unfortunately he'll probably.
Yeah, I think he's calling it too.
One of the memories, which this isn't probably the best memory for us, but it was when he walked with the ball, the Golden State. That's a funny moment for sure. But I kind of do remember him on the Clippers a lot. I kind of also remember him with the Lakers more than I do with the Thunder, just because that was. Yeah, that's my bad. Just because he was like, I was a lot younger, but yeah, I don't really have, I guess, any moments that stand out necessarily besides that. But I do remember a little bit of the Nuggets as well.
Well, I have a couple of things I'll share. The first 2K I ever played was 2K11. I think I didn't get it when it came out. I was like 7 or 8 at the time. It was like 2013. Wow, would I have been 8 then? I don't know. But I didn't like have a great understanding of the NBA yet. I knew like the primary guys. So at the time it was like LeBron, D Wade, Kobe. You see that? Kobe, and then KD was a big like I still kind of like I thought he was like the young upcoming guy, but at that point he had been in the league for a while. But I had never heard of Russ, and I think I remember playing like it was like what my league used to be back then. I don't remember what it was called, but I remember playing it, and OKC was actually good, and I don't I never even heard of the OKC Thunder. I mean, I was a little 8-year-old kid. I knew like the Lakers, a handful of teams, and I went on there and it's like Russell Westbrook, 23 years old, averaging 35 and a triple double, and I'm like, what the heck? And I don't, but I don't remember like. I mean, I definitely remember him more on OKC just because I got into the NBA heavy when I was in 2016, so I would have been 10. that's actually insane that I've been following for like a decade now. But yeah, I was a heavy like watcher back then, and I like watching. I mean, the first season I watched like heavy was Russ's MVP year, so I do remember it a lot. And I remember watching. That was the year they had Oladipo. That was the year they had Oladipo. They had Steven Adams. They had Sabonis.
I know.
He didn't do a whole lot for him.
PG.
But yeah, that team was not very good at all. I mean, I think they had Jeremy Grant maybe, but I as I remember, I have a lot of like memories with him. I remember in 2019, LaMarcus Aldridge dropped 56 on OKC, and then it went to an overtime game because Russell Westbrook was going crazy in the fourth quarter, and I almost peed my pants. I was 13, so actually that's crazy to say I peed my pants at 13. I didn't actually pee my pants, but I was pissed, dude. And when I was a kid, I would watch angrily. Like I remember one game. This ain't about Russ, but Kawhi blocked AD, and I was like, I was cheering because I was a little 10-year-old kid, and then AD came down and dunked on him. Bro, I was throwing pillows. My dad was like, "Bro, calm down." It was a regular season game too. But as far as Russ, I don't really have like many memories with him, and like I totally forgot he played for the Clippers. Sacramento, I didn't watch many Sacramento games last year, to be honest with you. Uh, the entire Lakers thing, I try to forget. And who else did he play for? He played for Washington. I do remember him in Washington a little bit, just because I watched the game he broke the record, and I remember Bradley Beal was hurt a lot that year, so it was like the Russell Westbrook show. And then I remember I watched a lot of in the bubble. So Houston, I can't remember who eliminated them, but they weren't that great of a team to start out with.
Was it the Lakers?
Was the Lakers the ones that eliminated them, or was it who they met in the conference final? Who did the Lakers meet in the conference finals that year? Was it Denver?
Yeah, it was Denver, so it could have been the Lakers or Denver.
I remember that team. I was thinking of the Clippers. No, well, that Houston team. Oh, they had Daniel House. He was their third leading scorer. So you know what I mean. So I don't. Some other memories. I remember I had some Westbrooks when I was like 12, and bro, those things stunk, bro, because it was like one of those shoes that you had the tie and then it had the zipper. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Those were the why nots, but I can't remember
Why not?
why not.
Oh,
I got the bracelet. I got the bracelet for him. So yeah, that's all I got to share about Russ. Just a couple of things that resonated for me, and when I think of Westbrook, I mean, one of the first things I actually think of is his game winner against Denver where he banked it.
Yes.
That's one of the things I think of when I think Westbrook. That's probably the highlight I think of, probably. Or that dunk he had. I can't remember who it was against, but it was like one-handed off two. Yam that bitch. I remember he had one on Gobert that was tough as hell.
Yes. I remember that dunk too. That was a pretty good dunk, obviously.
But enough about Russ. Unfortunately, that might be the last time we ever talk about Russell Westbrook on this podcast, unless we do some kind of all-time ranking sometime in like the right now, where the off season's absolutely dead and there's really nothing to talk about. But today we do have another topic, which is predictions. It's about current players, but it's the 2026-27 seasons award predictions.
Yes, sir.
Are you fairly confident on the things that you have?
I do like my answers a lot. I did put a little time into it last night.
Okay.
But I am feeling pretty confident.
Okay. Let's start out with something that's not the MVP.
Okay.
I'll let you pick.
It's up to you.
No. You got to pick this first one. We'll trade back and forth what we pick.
All right. I'm going to pick. So first off, I'm going to get a very obvious one out of the way. And Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, thank
This
God.
one should be very self-explanatory. It's clearly got to be Wemby. I think that Wemby is going to average about 2 to 2.5 blocks this year. I expect nothing less. I just expect him to get better, and he won last year, obviously. So I really don't know who else could compete. So I have the winner being Wemby, which I assume you do too.
Yes.
Okay. And then for my candidates, I have Evan Mobley.
Okay.
And then Mitchell Robinson. With Mitch getting more minutes, I could see him having more of an impact out there, and his impact's defense first, not offense first. So I could see him getting some recognition, and I think he deserves more recognition because he has been playing very good, I feel. And I feel like that starter role can give him more recognition, and there he could maybe get some defensive player of the year votes.
I think the longer we go on, like as of right now, we see the next 10 years and we're like, it's gonna be. But eventually, teams will figure him out. Like I know he's a 7'6"
Yeah.
freak of nature, but at some point, those guys are gonna learn to shoot over him. They're gonna learn to take him out and attack him and be better at it. The more seasons we go on. So as much as I love Wemby, I mean I'm a Spurs fan. You guys all know, so I love Wemby to death. But eventually, there will be somebody who's gonna take him over because of one of voters fatigue, and two, he's just not gonna have like that. Like last year, he averaged damn near 3 blocks a game. Actually, I think he did. And this year he'll probably do the same thing. I have him winning
Close
as well.
to it, yeah.
Actually, I have my defensive player of the year like ballot the same as this year's. So I have Chet in there, and I also have Asar Thompson.
Those are two good picks.
I mean, yeah, you can't really say anything because they were last year. Chet, I think OKC is still going to be one of the best defensive teams in the league, if not the best defensive team, and he's going to be the anchor of it. So you got to have Chet in there. I don't think his stats are going to be like Wemby's or like another big, like even Evan Mobley might get more blocks than him, but he'll make a big impact and be on probably the best defensive team in the league. So I picked Chet, and then with Asar, I just didn't want to take all bigs. And I think Asar Thompson is the best perimeter defender in the league.
Guard too, but I really don't know a guard, so I was kind of. I thought Nembhard maybe, but I don't want to get Pacer bias here.
Yeah,
so
well, I'd say the only guards that I would be like, oh, okay, is probably the Thompson twins.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I can't think of anybody else really, unless you said Dyson Daniels. But last year he didn't have that great of a year.
It was a down year for him,
and I don't really expect him. Like he's not gonna have more of a role, so I don't see that. But okay, I like that you picked defensive player of the year first. That's who I that's the probably award I would have picked first. But let's go ahead. Did you do the clutch player of the year?
I did all of them.
Okay, so yeah, let's do clutch because no one gives a fuck about the clutch player of the year. I'll go ahead and say mine. My guy that I have winning is a guy that's already won it before, in Jalen Brunson. I think a lot of teams are gonna like attack New York because they are one, the former champions, two, beatable.
Definitely.
So I think there's gonna be a lot of teams that's gonna go into those regular seasons games like, bro, we can beat New York. Like they won the championship, we can beat them. And I think they're gonna have a lot of close games next year because I think Cleveland's gonna go for them. San Antonio's obviously gonna go for them. I think Indiana's gonna go for them.
Yeah, they are.
I think Boston will.
New York still has
OKC will. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of these teams that lost last year. Philly will. That might be trying to attack them. And then New York, I mean, they're not gonna get blown out.
No.
So I think they're gonna have a lot of close games. So I'm gonna have Jalen Brunson, and he's a clutch player. He's won it before. He could very likely do it again. My other two candidates I had was Trae Young and Tyrese Maxey. I think at the end of the games in Philly that Tyrese Maxey will have the ball.
I hope he does. I love watching him.
I think he's the best all-around scorer on that team. And then as far as Trae Young, I think Washington, there's going to be games when they're fully healthy, which who knows if they ever will be. But if they are, that they'll have some close games. And even if they're not, they'll have some close games with some not great teams. And Trae Young is that guy. He still is that guy. He's not at that elite level as we used to believe him to be at. So go ahead and say yours.
All right. So this one could be very interesting. But for my clutch player of the year, I have Devin Booker. Not a lot of people would see that coming, I think. But I think that the Suns are going to try and compete this year. And I think Booker's going to have the ball in his hands a lot at the end of the game. I think he's going to have some game winners this year. And I think Phoenix is kind of trying to get back to 2021 when they're in the championship, 5 years ago. So, the window's not completely closed, even though it is a new roster. But, they're going to want to have to get back there. Brought in Miles Bridges. And that was kind of like a win now move. Re-signed Dillon Brooks as well. I think that's something that they're going to look to do, and I think Devin Booker is going to have the last shot. If there's one shot to win the game, lose the game, Devin Booker is going to take it. For my next candidate, I got Tyrese Halliburton. Pretty self-explanatory. My guy makes game winners. But I think, you can say it's biased, but I think when the Pacers are in clutch time games, you see the ball in his hands 70% of the time. He's either out there dribbling, trying to shoot the three, or he's out there dribbling to drive and kick. He's going to make the plays at the end of the game, and that's why he's going to be so clutch, whether it's points, assists, and he even can get steals. You watch it in the playoffs, he was getting stops to get the ball back to make the shot. Like, he got offense from his defense, and that's what makes me think like, oh, they're gonna realize that, and I think that's why he could also be clutch player of the year. My last one would be Steph Curry. I think the Warriors know his window's closing. I think they're going to compete as much as they can this year. It's kind of the same with Devin Booker. When there's a shot to win the game, who do you want to take it? Steph Curry. Steph Curry's going to be taking all those shots at the end of the game. He's going to be taking the shots to win the game. And, if he's successful with most of those shots, he's going to be very clutch. So, therefore, to me, it shows he's going to be the clutch player of the year or in the candidate for it.
Mhm.
But my final pick is Devin Booker.
Okay. I love that because I love Devin Booker. But I was going to say, so last year I made predictions. And if you go to the website, thequietgym.com, go visit it. It's not being updated currently, but it will be soon. Because it hasn't been updated currently, I can easily go find my predictions from last year. And last year I said Donovan Mitchell. And I don't feel like that was a bad pick. I think he had a lot of clutch moments last year. But obviously Shea won it instead. And, people be glazing Shea. But I did have Shea as the first guy not to get it. And then for Defensive Player of the Year, I'm pretty sure I said Wemby. Yes, I did. So let's go ahead with our next one and have you choose it.
All right. Well, next pick, we'll go sixth man of the year. All right. So my sixth man of the year, I have Dylan Harper winning it. Dylan Harper was a rookie last year, and he came in and he shined when the lights were the brightest, and he looked amazing in the finals. When San Antonio didn't have anything going for him, he stepped right in and he balled. I don't think he's going to get the starting spot over Fox for some reason, but I think he's going to be very consistent off the bench. He's going to play 30 to 35 minutes a night, and I have nothing but confidence in Dylan Harper to be that guy in San Antonio. I don't think they're going to move on from De'Aaron Fox, but I could very heavily see Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox switch in the near future, but I don't think that's going to happen this year, so that's why I think Dylan Harper will win sixth man of the year. My runner-up is AJ Mitchell, which is very interesting.
Bro, we have the same list.
I know. Oh, we do. I don't think we do. I know we don't. But
what's your last one, Kelly Oubre?
I changed it last minute. Was that yours?
No, but I changed it last minute.
I changed it to another Pacer.
Oh, did you?
Anyways,
okay, I didn't.
AJ Mitchell, he's going to get a bigger role this year with Lou Dort going out, and I think he's very good. I don't think he's been given a chance to really prove himself. I think this year he's going to go from an unexpected leap to close to a star leap, which that might be a little push. But I think he's going to be very good this year. Then my last pick, it was Kelly Oubre all day until I thought about it later this evening. And I think it's going to be Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin last year when the Pacers had a down year, he was still averaging about 12 to 15 points a game. And you might think that's very interesting, but he was scoring 15 points a game on like close to 15 to 20 minutes. And next year he's going to be getting closer to 30 minutes. When you look at the Pacers run last year, or not last year, 2 years ago, he was in those moments over Turner. Like, he meant a lot to this team coming off the bench. And I think when the Pacers team plays more meaningful games, he's going to be right in there. And I think it's going to show how valuable he is to the team. But I don't think he'll get I don't think he'll win it. I think Dylan Harper will, but I think he definitely is going to be up there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I second on what you said about Dylan Harper. I'm a Spurs fan, so I could talk about all day with him, but I'm just going to let you cover it. And then same with AJ Mitchell, because I'm a big AJ Mitchell fan, and I'm just going to second off what you said. Those were my 1 and 2 in that order. With my third one, I also said Kelly Oubre because I really want to pick a forward, but last year Keldon Johnson won it, and if Dylan Harper wins it this year, I don't see a chance that Keldon Johnson's even on the board. Especially since the playoffs he had last year. I don't see I know that it's going to be a whole different year and it's going to be a year from when the votes come out, but there is such thing as they remember the big moments. And even though Chet, everybody this year will look at Chet as, well, in the playoffs he can't perform. And that sucks, but that's probably going to prohibit him from getting an All-NBA. Maybe even an All-Star selection, who knows? So I don't have Keldon Johnson there. I don't pick Naz Reid there, although he's been in a six-man-a-year race for a while now because I just believe he's going to be the starter in Charlotte. So this is going to be somebody new. And I thought about Kelly Oubre because I want to take forward, but I went back to guard and I said Jrue Holiday. I don't see a way where Jrue Holiday is a starter with Ja with Dame, and then I assume they'd start Tamani Kamara, Denny, and then Klingon. Um, the only reason I'd say Drew Holiday's not this is if Jaw's injured, if Dame's injured, or these two are like knick-knack injuries and he's always subbing in for him. Then I could see like maybe he wouldn't be considered because he started too many games. But Holiday is one of the most respected players around the league. Everybody says he's so underrated, and by the media, I'd say he is. But by players, by coaches, I think by media now that he's a little older, they respect him, and I think he would get the votes, especially if he still played like he did last year. Because last year he actually had a pretty good season. It just kind of went under the radar.
I heavily agree.
All right.
Why do you think Kelly Oubre deserves that?
Kelly Oubre, I think he's going to be a good scorer for him.
I think that's what he does best, and that's what Pacers are going to ask him to do. So
I
I
think
he's going to look very good at his role.
Yep. And I think about this award, Sixth Man of the Year is always about stats, right? If Jaime Jaquez was on a good team last year, he would have won it over Kellen Johnson. First off, you can't win the award if you're on a non-playoff team. And Miami was almost that. And then were they a playoff team last year? Did they make it?
Play-in, I think.
But did they make it?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so he like how do you give it to a guy who's coming off the bench on a non-playoff team? And then but he averaged 15 points a game. It's going to take you to average 15 points a game off the bench to get this award.
Is really capable of that.
And he definitely is, but obviously Dylan Harper is more capable of that. Who do you think I said last year was going to win it? It's a non-Spur.
Sixth Man of the Year?
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. He changed teams this year, and he's going to be a starter now, but
I have no idea.
Quentin Grimes. I don't feel like that's a terrible pick. I feel like he had a good scoring year. I just figured they had no other depth, so yeah, blah, blah, blah. But I had Anthony Simons, Nas Reed, John Collins, and Malik Monk as my other candidates.
I probably went with Nas Reed, but yeah.
All right. So with our next one, I'm going to do the hardest one for me, I thought, was most improved player. And I had to think about it because I didn't want to do something basic, but I ended up doing something basic. Because, I mean, when you have a team who's had a star player, and he's been their star player for years now, and that player leaves, your next best young – do we have the same guy? Our next best young player is going to come up and score, and that guy's going to be – I've been a big fan of this guy ever since he came out of Alabama, and Brandon Miller.
Yes, sir.
We had the same guy?
We do have the same
I
guy.
do love that. I think Brandon Miller's going to be around 23 points a game next year, and I think Charlotte actually won't be that terrible of a team. I think they could sneak in at that 7, 6, 8 seed, whatever it is down there. So, yeah, you notice how I said 7 first? So, I don't think that would be terrible. But for my next candidates, I have Will Riley of Washington.
That's interesting.
I think he had a really good end of last year, and it's kind of like the same thing I did with Denny, where I looked at a guy who got opportunity towards the end of the year, showed off, and next year he was great. And that's kind of what Will Riley's – I mean – they have kind of 4 guys that they're set on: AJ, Trey, AD, and Alex Sarr. Everybody else is kind of open there. I mean, Bilal's, he's kind of set in stone in his spot, but he's not the set starter. Trey Johnson, I wouldn't say he had the most consistent rookie year. I think Will Riley has a lot of opportunity. Plus, he's kind of grown a little bit. I think he's about 6'10" now. He came in the league at 6'8". He's got a really long wingspan, and he can score the ball, and he's a pretty good defender. And I think a guy that's all around like that can definitely benefit from having, first off, an open spot in your starting lineup, and secondly, being on a team that's not going to be amazing. And then my last spot to Kevin Porter Jr., because Milwaukee needs a score, and I think that he will probably ball hog it and average 26 points a game.
So, obviously, we both have the same winner for this award. With my runner-up, I have Zachary Richardson. I know I didn't say his name right, but I think it's very interesting.
I like that. I like that a lot.
So I feel like last year in Atlanta, he kind of got ran out of the rotation. He still played, but he kept getting less and less and less minutes. And I think it was very interesting to say this, but he needed a new face very early on in his career. I feel like Atlanta had their expectations very, very high for him, and they weren't met right away, so they move on from him. I think that in Dallas, he's not going to be relied on to be that guy because you got Coop and Kyrie. But I think he's going to be more relied on to shoot. And he shoots the ball very good. He had 38 points against the Rockets. He made like 10 or 11 threes. Might want to fact check me there. But to me, he's shown sparks. And I think that maybe not this year, but next year, he could definitely win the award. And I say that because I think he's only going to get better in Dallas. I feel like him and Cooper are kind of similar, and I feel like Cooper took a really big leap this year. So I feel like Riche coming into this, he could take a really big leap because he hasn't really improved that much. And then my last guy was back to Dylan Harper. I think Dylan Harper is going to be looked at as more like a team leader, and I think he's going to be a scorer, and I think he's going to be that 1-2 punch coming off the bench. I think he's going to have just a very efficient year, and I feel like you look for efficiency sometimes, and I think that's what Dylan Harper will bring to the Spurs. And like I said earlier, I could see a world where he starts, or even if someone is like gets hurt, I think he's going to excel in that starting role. I don't think it's going to be a drop off from starter to Dylan Harper. I think he'll keep it about the same. We'll go
Coach of the Year is all what we got left, right?
at MVP.
I do like the Reese Shea pick though. The only thing I have with Reese Shea is I just don't know how big of that step he'll take. I think he'll have a better year than he did last year. I just don't. I'm not sure like what kind of freedom Dusty May is going to give him in Dallas, but I think it's a great pick still.
All right, so we go to Coach of the Year. My winner for Coach of the Year, you can call it bias, but I think will be Rick Carlisle. I think the difference between the two seasons the Pacers have will show how important it is to have a good coach. I think he's going to make some very good decisions with the rotation because that's the kind of guy he is. He's the kind of guy that wants to play 10 to 11 people a night instead of 8 to 9. Like he's going to play the extra guys to give you the extra minutes to sit. If you watch the Pacers playoff run, which I know I keep going back to this, but New York played 7 or 8 people where the Pacers had 10. There was no drop off, but New York might have had better players, but they were so tired. I think Rick does a good job of getting everyone in and playing smart. He also has a really good coaching staff under him. Lloyd Pierce, Jenny Buzek, probably not her last name, but it's close enough. But I think that they'll be very good, and I think with them wanting to compete this year and having a much better team, I think it will show how good of a coach he really is, and maybe he can win another chip. With my runner-up, I have the Raptors coach, Darko
Rajonovic,
however you say that. I think that Toronto will have a good year. They had a really good year last year compared to what they've been. I think it will just continue to be about the same or better. But I think he gets more recognition for it this year. And I could really see him getting some Coach of the Year votes because it's finally being consistent. It wasn't a one-year wonder. I could see something where he is kind of consistent up there, and I think the Raptors deserve recognition for it. And then my last coach was Nick Nurse. I feel like the Sixers will be good. And I feel like with that star lineup, he's going to just get recognition because he's the coach of it. I don't know if he's going to do much, but I think that he will be up there just because he has LeBron, Embiid, Brown, and Maxey on his team.
Okay.
And Dean Wade.
And Dean Wade. Well, call me biased too because I said Mitch Johnson as coach of the year. I think the Spurs will be the 1 seed over OKC this year, and I think it'll be San Antonio's on their own tier, OKC's on their own tier, Denver, Minnesota, and whoever else, and then everybody else. And that's why I think they're going to be the clear-cut best team in the league next year, in my opinion, though. But that's also biased, so I give it to Mitch Johnson. And between me, I really wanted to take Rick Carlisle, but I knew if I took this one guy I was going to take, I couldn't take Rick Carlisle, and so I ended up taking Quentin Snyder for Atlanta. I just think one of those teams in the East is going to make a big jump. Either Boston will drop, one of those teams will drop, and I think you'll see a younger team come up. And I was between Indiana and Atlanta, and Indiana just going a year without playing together kind of just scares me. And I think also people will look at Indiana like, oh, well, they didn't have Tyrese, so is it really coaching, or is it just they have Tyrese Halliburton? And more than that, they had other injuries last year, so you can't just say Halliburton. But I said Quinn Snyder because I think that first off, Jalen Johnson is going to make a big leap, and they make good moves. They got Lou Dort, they got Aaron Wiggins. They made some good moves that made them better, deeper. They still have CJ McCollum, which was huge for them. And then lastly, I ended up taking Mike Brown because he just didn't get the votes last year. And I think this is like a year reigning champions, and there's going to be throwing votes. And I think Mike Brown will get that third most votes for it. And then let's go to MVP.
All right,
You want to talk about it or me?
you can go first.
All right. Well, my MVP, this will be my fourth Spur winning an award, I think, right? Or my fourth Spur award. I guess I have Wemby winning 2 awards, but this, yeah, Wemby. And kind of just what he said last year, like he's best on both sides of the ball, and I think his stats will be even better this year. He'll be more in points per game, more than likely. He'll be more or about the same in rebounds, about the same in blocks. His defensive impact's way better than everybody else. Oh, we didn't do Rookie of the Year? Scratch that. Actually, we'll just keep talking about MVP. It's fine. We can do Rookie after. Rookie is actually low key more entertaining
It could be.
because MVP is kind of like there's only about 4 guys it could be.
Yeah. I'd say
So-
three.
So 3. I'm okay with 3. Yeah, I think the Spurs are gonna have like a historic year. So I took Wemby, and then my other 2 I had was Shea and Jokic. But
That's exactly what
I want to shout out Giannis because he's gonna be on a team by himself, and if he stays healthy, we could see a monster year from Giannis. You said you had the exact same or like a different order?
I had Wemby, Shea, Jokic.
Okay, that's the exact same I had. That's what I said. Like MVP, like it's the most like prominent award, but I don't know if it's the most entertaining when we're talking about these predictions next year. Go ahead and say your Rookie of the Year though.
All right, so my rookie of the year is AJ DeBanza. To me, he's the most clear-cut ready player in the NBA. I think he will show consistency. I think that's a big part of winning rookie of the year, just because you're consistent all year. I don't know if he's going to be the flashiest out of the rookies, but I just think he's going to prove that, I could come in here, win, get playoff minutes. Even if Washington's not a playoff team, I think he could show that if he was on a playoff team, he'd be ready. To me, I think he's going to average anywhere from 15 to 20 points a game. I think it's going to be pretty efficient. I think it's just consistency is key for rookie of the year, and that's why I have AJ winning rookie of the year over my other 2 candidates. My next candidate is Caleb Wilson. He had a very, very, very good summer league, but you can't really base a lot off the summer league. But I think inconsistency is what will hurt him, just because I think he'd go on a scoring streak of averaging 30 this week, but then 12 the next week. I don't know if scoring is his consistency, and I think you're going to need that. But I think he could be very flashy, and I think he'll be very promising. I think he'll be better than Booz here in a few years, and that's not even crazy to say. I think Caleb Wilson will have a phenomenal rookie year, and I think he could be in most improved within 2 to 3 years. My last candidate was Darren Peterson. For me, he doesn't have as complete of a game as AJ DeBanza, just because I think DeBanza will be more of a system player. And a system player is going to be better than an ISO player any day. I think Darren Peterson will play good with the Jazz. I just think DeBanza will be like, oh, you want me to do this to win? I'll do it. You want me to do this to win? I'll do it. Where Darren Peterson's like, oh no, give me the rock, I want to score. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I think he could maybe score 40 in a game. I think he could score high 30s a few times. I think the points will be there for him. I just want to see more of a complete game, and that's where I think DeBanza is better over the 2 of them.
Okay, I had those same guys, but a little different order, not too much. I had Caleb Wilson actually winning it. Chicago just opens up more opportunity, and I think that he was the best player in the summer league, like you said. I think offensively he was the most NBA ready as far as what we saw, and then DeBansta was a little under that, and then everybody else. And then defensively he was no slouch. He looked really good in the summer league. So I think as far as what Chicago's going to get, they're going to get a young kid who's a kind of different kind of scorer than what we normally see in the NBA, but I'm very excited for it. And if he can stay healthy, like he struggled with at UNC, I think he's going to be scared, and I think he could take this award. But then I have DeBansta too, for the same reasons you said. The reason I took, because to me, Caleb Wilson and DeBansta, as what we saw from the summer league, and then kind of what we saw at college, DeBansta had a better college at least season, but from what we saw player to player comparison, these 2 are very on the same kind of level. And when you take their situations, Caleb Wilson's is just a little better when it comes to individual like stats. And that's kind of what the Rookie of the Year award is. Who had a better individual season?
Mhm.
That's why Flag got it over Khan. And so I took Duband's too. Not that Dubance is not in a bad situation. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I think that Caleb Wilson's just got more of an opportunity to shine. And I had Peterson at 3. I am really interested to see Peterson in Utah because Keontae George is that lead guard, and he will be unless Peterson has a like Kobe rookie year. So I mean, obviously I don't see, but I also want to shout out Darius Acuff because he's got also a really good situation where Sacramento's got really not many scores left on that team right now, and Acuff could be that guy. I think he'll have a very similar rookie season to Darius Garland, where he struggles a little bit keeping the ball with a little bit with efficiency, but over time he'll get a little better.
I also want to shout out our boy Cam Boozer because we didn't talk about him, but I do think he deserves some. I just think the reason he won't be on any rookie teams is strictly because of how bad Memphis is. I think people will look at it like, yeah, who else is going to score? You don't have anyone else. Cam Boozer is going to score. I think that could hurt him a little bit, but I think he will still. I think he could average around 20 points a game. Yeah, because no one else is going to score the ball in Memphis. But I think he still can be efficient, almost average double double. But I think he still will have a very good rookie year, and he wasn't mentioned, so I did have to shout him out real quick.
All right. I know I forgot to mention like my other stuff, but last year I had David Adelman winning Coach of the Year, which is Denver's coach. The other candidates I had Steve Kerr, Mark Dayton, Mitch Johnson, and Mike Brown. So I mean, I wasn't.
That's
Who
pretty
won
good.
it? Who won it? Do you remember who won it?
Um,
Did Mitch win it?
thought he did.
I think he did.
Yeah, just Mike down on that.
What else did I say? I said most improved. I said Benedict Matherin. I was a little off there. I just figured, Tyrese is gone, or not
Yeah.
gone, but Tyrese is hurt. They had some other injuries, I think, coming into the year, didn't they?
Kinda. They lost Turner.
Yeah, they lost Turner. So I was like, there's some scoring there, and if anybody's gonna be one hell of a scorer on this team, it's gonna be Benedict Matherin. And boy, was I wrong, because he traded him off. But my other candidates were Austin Reeves, which was a hit, Neemias Queta, which was a hit, just because he was the only center on that roster at the time. Asar Thompson, which I mean, he had a good year, and then Cole Anthony, who actually had a terrible year because he got cut and then signed back somewhere. Rookie of the year, I said Cooper Flag. I pretty much all of these are hits though. When I said other candidates, I said VJ Edgecombe, Cedric Coward, which is a big hit, Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson, Con Kneppel, and Jeremiah Fears. And then my MVP, I said Jokic, which I missed on, but wasn't too far. Shea, Giannis, Brunson, and I didn't even say Wemby. But yeah, so I wasn't terrible last year. I don't think we're gonna be terrible this year either. I don't think there's anything that
I like it.
that was too bad. But I do. Uh, did you see the NBA Christmas Christmas Day games?
Yes, but I don't recall them.
Yeah, so I'm looking them up right now, so I'm not wrong on them. But we're gonna go through them and kind of look at them and see what you would change, and I'll do the same thing.
Okay.
I don't know if is this.
That is legit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one from this year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So as of right now, not as of right now because it's official, but officially, so we have San Antonio, New York is gonna match up. Miami and Boston's gonna match up. Philly and LA is gonna match up. OKC and Minnesota is gonna match up, and Denver and Golden State's gonna match up. Now I don't. Let's not base it on what you think viewership would do. Let's base it on what you would want to see for Christmas.
Okay. So I really like the first game, a finals rematch. I think that'll be very good in MSG. I do really like the first game. I would not change anything about the first game. Second game could be interesting. You don't know how teams are going to stay healthy. You don't know if Boston's going to have a down year losing Jaylen Brown. That game's kind of a question mark to me. I don't think it's a bad game because I feel like there's always been a little rivalry between the two teams. But I think you could have matched up Miami with another high-powered offense. The next game would be the Sixers versus the Lakers. I do really like this game. A chance to see LeBron against his former team in LA. I do really, really like this game. I don't know if because you only play the other conference twice, one home, one away. If this is LeBron's first game against the Lakers, I think this would be very cool to do on Christmas. But if they already play once, I think it will still be cool because he's returning to LA. He'll get a nice tribute. But be very interesting as well. The next on the slate would be the Thunder versus the Wolves. I really like that. I hope Ant drops like 40 on Christmas. That'd be very cool. I really like this game, especially because it's like a rematch. I feel like there's a rivalry there. Both have kind of young teams there with Ant and SGA. Well, not that they're young, but I feel like there's a new rivalry happening there. Then the last game, the Nuggets versus the Warriors. I think it's okay. I probably would have changed the Warriors to maybe like the Rockets or something, or thrown in like a Cleveland, like a high end team. I don't think it's the worst they could have done, but I think that they could have done better with the Warriors selection.
Steph definitely carries that Warrior selection.
I know.
But Steph is so fun to watch, so it's hard for me to take him off there.
I think that's the reason they're on.
And I agree with you, San Antonio, New York. That's perfect. It's a perfect first game.
Mhm.
I think there's going to be a lot of drama felt. And when I look for these games, I'm looking for drama.
Mm-hmm.
That's my number one. So like Miami and Boston, I don't like it.
I don't not like it, but I'm not huge on it. Like I'm 50-50.
There's nothing between those teams right now that I'm like, oh, like I would rather. LeBron is 42. He does not care about the Lakers. I'm sorry. I mean, he does, but it's not going to be in a negative way. I would rather Philly play Boston for Jaylen Brown because there's tension there, and I think that we could see a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of here and there. So I would rather that second game be Philly and Boston, and then for Miami, I'd like LA because LeBron ended up choosing Philly
over.
Or not LA, not freaking LA. I'd rather see Philly and Miami because he was supposed to go to Miami. Everybody thought he was going to Miami.
Well, you just said you want Philly to play the Sixers.
Yeah. Oh, is that what I said?
Yes. Yeah,
okay, so I said it right.
The Lakers.
I want. Oh no, yeah. I mean, I want the Heat to play. Who was I gonna say?
The Lakers.
The Lakers, yeah.
Okay.
Just because Giannis, Luka, two big headers, and then that's why I'd rather see OKC play Denver. I'd rather see OKC play Denver because you got Jokic and Shea. And that's been not an on-the-court rivalry, but it's been like a media rivalry because of the MVP award. And then for that last game, I have Minnesota and Golden State left. I don't know if I'd pick those two teams.
I'd pick Minnesota for sure.
I definitely would pick Minnesota. And the only reason I'd pick Golden State is because this would be like, I want to see Steph play, obviously. But another good team I think would be with Minnesota is like Indiana. It's two really fast-paced teams because Minnesota is already a fast-paced team with Melo, and then obviously Indiana is also a fast-paced team, and there's other fast-paced teams out there. But
43 and a half minutes to rep this shirt. That's my bad tie.
All right, that's crazy.
But
that's crazy.
I do agree with that.
I don't mind it though. I mean, the only thing is it's so hard to take Steph out.
I think that's what they did. You're gonna have 2 or 3 more years to have him playing on Christmas, and it's gonna be all the young guards getting it. So you kind of gotta put him on there while he's there.
So I guess Minnesota, and I think Minnesota's gonna take that game like easily, but unless Steph has like a crazy game, which if he's gonna have a crazy game, I mean last year he did it in the in-season tournament. He had a good game. Did he play on Christmas?
I can't recall. I think he did though.
Did he play?
Did they play Boston?
Did Golden State Golden State? I know Golden State played, but did he play? Yeah, I can't remember. I don't remember. And if he did, I guess he didn't have that great of not like a massive Steph Curry game, but yeah. I mean, they're all right. There's just like I'd rather see Philly play Boston than LA. I don't think there's gonna be a whole lot of drama between. It's gonna be like when LeBron steps back in LA, the whole fans are gonna like cheer for him. They're gonna give him this big like reunion, which is good. Like that's good sportsmanship. It's like respect the guy that got you a championship, everything. But like with Jaylen Brown in Boston, I could see some boos.
No, I think they'll cheer him on.
You think?
I think the teams might be chippy, but I think the Boston's fans will be like 3/4 welcoming.
Boston fans are toxic.
They are, but I think he won a Finals MVP.
They booed Kai.
He also said he was coming back and then he left. I feel like it's a little different.
Jaylen Brown also could have stayed.
I guess that wouldn't be.
It was partially Boston's fault, but I think he was leaving either way.
Yeah.
But anything crazy happened between now and the last podcast? Any crazy stories you want to say?
No, school's boring.
You've had 1 day of school. That's all you've done?
Yeah, I mean,
Almost got high today. On accident.
bro.
on accident. On accident. Because
I
I
haven't
was
heard
I was
any of
spraying
this.
this door, and when you do that, God, I can't remember what it's called. It's wood something. You spray wood and you spray thinner on it, and the smell of those two combined is like super strong. I could be high right now.
Maybe you are.
Maybe I am. I hope not.
Me too.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we got for today. When it's the off
Yes,
season,
sir.
we do have to have a little bit of shorter podcast because there's not as much to talk about other than Russell Westbrook retiring.
It's hard to make content.
It really is. But maybe we can do some like all-time ranking, or we can do maybe a little bit more predictions, like
We'll have
exciting
to
things that we'll
until
see
some more stuff happens.
until the start of the season, probably.
Yeah.
All right. It was good talking to you today,
Thank
Resto.
you for having me on here again.
Until next time.
Until next time.
Peace.